If you've ever said, I don't know who to talk to, this is why your DMs feel really awkward. You don't really need a script to get better with your DMs. You need a process that simplifies everything. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to sell inside of the DMs. But before we get started, my name is Lisbeth Graham, and I am a messaging and sales strategist for mission-led service-based business providers. Since 2023, I've helped over a dozen women sell inside of the DMs with confidence without feeling salesy or needing a script. And if this is for you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow along, and you'll get notified with every single video that I post. We're going to get right into it, and I'm going to tell you right away what to do. Number one, you need to have the right people in the DMs. I was having a conversation with someone and she was telling me that 50% of her conversations lead to nothing, which you're probably thinking, that's only half, that's not that bad. But think about it, if you're spending an hour talking to 50% of the people that you're not meant to serve, that is a lot of wasted time. So step number one is talking to your audience. Don't just pick a random person that you're like, oh, I'm just going to talk to this person just because. That's wasted energy and wasted time for you. Your time is extremely valuable. And because you are in business to make money and not turn this into a hobby, your connections need to be intentional. So you need to have your target audience know who your ideal client is, know who it is you want to talk to. And if you don't know that, then I suggest that you take the Spark the Conversation challenge that I have in the description below. It is a free 5-day challenge. For 20 minutes, you will be doing something that's going to lead you to understanding and knowing your target audience and identifying who they really are. By the end of that challenge, you'll have a copy mining blueprint that you can use for your messaging, your sales, your pages, all with information, all with words that your target audience use so you can call them in with your content. So instead of you DMing all these strangers and cold messaging, which never, ever, 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 ever do it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never do it, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, that is the easiest way to get blocked and the easiest way to not get your ideal clients to want to work with you. Do not cold pitch anybody. Do not pitch within the first conversation. Unless they tell you otherwise. And I'm going to give you an example of when to do that in a minute. Step number 2 is you're going to start that personal connection with somebody first. Nobody wants the first conversation to be completely about business. Even when I went to a networking event that's in person, I did not start a conversation with, what do you do? I just don't. I'm not that type of person. I think you are more than your business. And so I want to know about you. What made you want to come to this event? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to get out of this event? What do you want to do after this event? What I can make it about the event in this scenario, but when I meet someone, I'm not like, what do you do? Like I said, even at the networking event that I went to, I wasn't like, well, what do you do? I was more like, so tell me a little bit about you. And if they wanted to talk about business, then so be it. But if they were like, I'm a mom, I have kids, I'd be like, well, tell me about your kids. How old are they? What do they do? Are they in school, homeschooled? How are you handling everything? And blah, 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 blah. Because we are more than just business. So the first conversation that we ever have is make it very personal. Make it something about them. Now, in certain scenarios, there are conversations that start with business. And I will tell you of one that I had last year. I posted something and a girl was like, she's actually my client. She was like, I need help with this. Oh my God. I don't know if she said, I need help with this, or she said, this is me. That's what she said. Because I still have the screenshots. She said, this is me. And I was like, girl, let me DM you and hook you up. I DM'd her and I was like, okay, I saw you on Threads. I just wanted to connect here. Oh my God, what's going on? How can I help? That's all. And that led to a client the same day she signed up. So it does sometimes direct, I want to work with you does work. 9 times out of 10 though, not everybody is like that. Once you start to refine your message, once you get big enough to that happening, let's think of these big entrepreneurs that they just put a single post and they say comment a word and everybody and their mother does. Once you get to that level, yes, but that's years down the line. We're not there yet. We're thinking right now. So we're going to connect with people. We're going to be genuine. We're going to be ourselves, and we're not going to expect them to sign up right away. That makes the conversation less awkward too, with zero expectations of them. Where I'm not expecting you to do anything for me, or I'm not expecting you to sign up at all. Now, I don't do scripts, but some great ways, if you see someone who posted something on Threads that spoke to you and like you can help them. I do here's the thing. If I knew that you were about to go over the edge and I could see that you were going to go over the edge, I would tell you, hey, you're going to go over the edge. That's how I see these conversations starting, is like, if you're saying, I cannot spend another dime on a coach or someone to help me make sales when I can't make them. I've tried everything, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to write on your threads and I'm going to be like, felt. I've been there. That was me in 2024. From January to March, I was done. I thought I was done with my business. I paused and did everything. I would share a little bit of my story in threads and be like, I'm going to hit you up. And I do. I hit him up. I'm like, oh my God, I saw your post. And that was me in 2024. I took a pause and and then I start going over a bunch of things. And then I'm just like, what have you tried? And then I start the process. Like, what have you tried? What are you trying? And what are you planning on doing to get those results? Past, present, and future. Those are times when I do. And again, I don't do scripts, but I recommend if you can help someone, it's okay to message them and be like, oh my God, this is going to help you. I know it will. And then there's a way to start selling in the DMs. And so that's a conversation starter right there in itself for you to do. The next thing is really market research. Every time you connect with someone is market research. Whether it leads to a sale or not, it's some kind of market research to help you really improve your sales. And that's why I'm really big with the first 3 stories, the very first story being some kind of market research question. I want to get to know if I can help you. If someone tells me I'm scared of selling in the DMs because I'm going to come off as salesy, let's say that that's one of the questions. Are you afraid of the DMs? What are you afraid of the DMs? And they say, I don't want to come off as salesy. I'm going to message them back and I'm going to be like, okay, why do you think you're going to be salesy? Why do you feel that that's what you're going to come off as? And it starts a conversation. It opens the door and gives me more research. If they turn into a client, cool. If it's more like conversation starter, another cool thing. I'm okay with that as long as they are comfortable enough to have that conversation with me. They just have to be comfortable enough for that. And I'm asking questions. Everything is about a question and wanting to get to know your audience. Everything should be some sort of a question. So everyone is some kind of a market research that's really going to help you in your business. So lead with that in mind and it'll make every conversation go slow and soft. Okay. So once you've got all that information and you've asked the questions, and let's say it does lead to them wanting to learn more about your business, wanting to learn more about what you do, you confidently invite them into, and I want to explain this to you without it being a script, because there are so many layers to this. But the number one thing that I learned was to always have permission-based selling. Would you mind if I shared more about my offer? Can I share more about my offer? Would you like more information about what I do? Can I share a little bit more about what I do? Ask them the question. They lead the conversation. That's why when I'll do like role-playing sales in the DMs with people, I'll ask them a question. Like I'll say, well, tell me about your business. Like, what is it that you offer? They send me this novel and I end the conversation already there. Like that's an automatic. I just end it. I tell them, hey, we're ending this. Let me send you feedback. And the feedback is always, you never asked me what I wanted out of this. Like you never asked me if I was okay with you sharing all that information. You never asked me. You never made me feel included in the conversation. I didn't feel like I was included at all. I felt like this was just you wanting to pitch me and that's it. Like you didn't ask me anything. Because the truth is, you want to ask questions. You need to get really good at seeing if they're a good candidate for you. You have to get picky. Okay? Like I know we're here to make money, and yes, we can be for everyone if we want to. But the truth is, if you're for everyone, you're going to have some nightmare clients, some people who make your life miserable. So you want to get very picky with that and be like, okay, do you mind if I ask you a few questions about your business? Yeah, for sure. Well, what kind of business do you have? How long have you been in business? What have you tried? Like one by one, like, hey, so tell me about your business. Oh, I've been in this for this long. If they're like, for me, for example, if they're like, well, I just started my business like a week ago and I'm not seeing any sales, I'm going to say that's crazy and understandable at the same time, because I didn't make my first sale for 6 months. And then it was like back to back to back to back to back. And so I get it, but why do you think you would make a sale already? What makes you think that? I know it's kind of like straightforward, but like they're not for me. That's how I know they're not my ideal client, because they're literally want results in a week. I had someone once, this is probably one of the craziest stories that will cling on for the rest of my life. I had a phone call once with somebody and it was like I did like a free thing just because I wanted to get to know her. And I wanted to see if she was a good fit for me and a client, right? And so I remember I got in a call with her and we're chatting and stuff. And I was like, so can you tell me your goal for the next 3 months? She had just been in business like a month. And I said, so tell me what kind of goal do you want for the next 90 days? Like, what do you want for the next 90 days? And she said, well, I hope in the next 3 months, she said, I hope I can make $100,000. Okay. So you just started your business. You're not making sales. You want to make $100,000 in 90 days. That's when I knew she wasn't my client, my ideal client. And then what was even worse is I said, can you tell me your budget? Like, what's your budget? I have $30 to my name. Keep in mind, $100,000, $30 to invest. That was the moment where I knew I had to ask deep questions when I'm in the DMs with people before I get on any kind of free call, clarity call, anything with them. There's no way I'm going to help you make $100,000 in 3 months when I've never done that myself. Is it possible for some? Absolutely. But there's so much context missing in that conversation. But quite frankly, that is when I realized that I needed to ask the right questions. And that's why I'm telling you, you ask permission. We're circling back. That's why permission-based selling is so important in the invite. So when someone tells you, well, tell me about your business, you have to ask. Like when someone tells you, like, if you've already had the conversation and it led to like them wanting to learn more, or it led to like you talking about how you can help them, you always go with, would you like to learn more about what I do? Because the moment they tell you, well, I don't have any money right now, that's okay. That's okay. Still, tell me a little bit about your business so I can get to know, because even if you did have the money, I might not be the right person for you, but I might know somebody who is. I mean, I don't do the whole like tugging, like, well, I have payment plans. I mean, I do, but to be like, well, what's keeping you from like all the sales tactics out there? I just don't have time for that. You want to talk to your husband? Well, girl, please do. How about I follow up with you next week? Can I check back next week and see what your man said, or tomorrow or whatever? And if they're like, no, I'll hit you back up. That's cool. I'm going to write that down. Then I'm going to still hit them up in a week, because the fortune is in the follow-up. And so they may tell me that, and I'm just going to be like, I'm still going to hit you up. I'm still going to hit you up. And so you invite them by asking the right questions. And once they tell you, well, here's about my business, well, what have you tried? They tell you, you can still gauge. There are questions to ask. It's all about asking them, well, can I tell you a little bit about what's included, like what you'll get out of the offer? Like I'm big on like asking them like, would they like to learn more? And then telling them like the transformation, telling them what's included, like what they're going to get, and then the price, like how much is it? Because if you tell people the price first without the transformation, they're not going to care. So I like to say like what you'll get is you'll get a full, like you'll get this, you'll get that. And by the end that's why it's so important to know the transformation. By the end, you'll know how to sell confidently in the DMs with your own system, and it'll be simple, and you'll walk away with the confidence in selling because you'll know exactly who your audience is and you'll talk to the right people. Like, how does that sound? Oh, that's great. Okay, so this is what you'll get. You'll get month 1 this, month 2 this, month 3 this, month 4 this, whatever you want to say. Like in the first 3 months, you'll have this. The first month, you'll have this. The first 90 days, you'll have this. The first, 120 days or 6 months, you'll have this. You'll walk away with this, whatever. And then how does that sound? Oh, that's exciting. Great. Yeah, I love it. And then you say, it's, if you're texting, they say to put a 7, but if you're talking, it's like, it's $500 a month, it's $47 a month or $50 a month, $100 a month, $97 a month, whatever. Or it's, or you can tell them the whole plan is $6,000, but I offer payment plans so we can break them down into months, blah, 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 blah. Whatever you say, but always end with, what do you think about that? Or how does that sound? What are your thoughts? Something that brings it back to them. Now, if they leave you on red, you already asked the question. It's on them. The ball is in their court. But we continuously follow up with people and we make sure we're consistent with that. So we want to make sure that our conversations are always about them. And I knew this would take a lot longer than expected. That's why I really wanted to give you the step-by-step selling in the DMs right off the bat. I didn't want to linger about it. And so because here we implement, I'm going to give you some homework. So I want you to, if you have not done the challenge, I want you to go down to the description and do the Spark the Conversation challenge. I want you to start conversations. And then I want you to hit up 3 people and ask them market research question. Inside of the challenge, I have those questions. They're available in a file for you to ask. Pick one just one, and ask people. Again, we're asking like, hey, I'm doing market research about like this offer, and I wanted to know, would you mind if I ask you one question just so I can get some information to help me? Some people will, some people won't. That's okay. Ask just one simple question and take the time to do that. Next week, I'm going to show you how to turn all of those client wins, or even just your wins, into a killer message, because the one gap I'm seeing a lot of people miss out on is a lot of people do not share their wins or their client wins. And so it's such a big gap. I don't know what kind of results you're going to give me if you're not sharing your wins. So make sure that you stay tuned next week and watch that video. I'll see you next week.